Hi there, I'm Vincent Bos and I provide dating and self-improvement advice. And in today's podcast, we're going to be discussing how to take your dumper's power. I provide audio coaching for breakup recovery, trying to get an ex back, attracting someone new, and life coaching. Visit www.dateme.tips for more details. Please check your spam and junk folders if you are expecting an email from me. Check out my socials for extra content. The links are in the description. So now let's get back into today's podcast. And today we are discussing how to take your dumper's power. So if you have been dumped and want to try to get your ex back, you need to alter the power dynamic. It feels like you have no control over your feelings and your dumper is pulling the strings. In today's podcast, I'll be discussing 3 ways to take your dumper's power and enable you to live your life in a way which is enjoyable and also attractive to other people, including your ex. So let's get straight into this, and point number 1 is set boundaries. It's so important that you set boundaries post-breakup. But what exactly do I mean by setting boundaries? Well, we can split this into a few sub-points. The first of which is that you need to make sure that you don't accept any different dynamic that your ex-dumper may offer you. So what this means is you two are together in a romantic relationship. That relationship has sadly ended. But for some dumpees, this isn't necessarily the last they hear of their ex. Sometimes the dumper will get in contact, but not for the reason that you as a dumpee would truly want, which is to get back together. Now, sadly, sometimes a dumper will reach out and they're trying to alter the dynamic that you two had together. They're trying to pull the strings. They're trying to use their power and influence to get what they want and not allowing you to have what you want. You want a romantic relationship, but they may offer you platonic friendship. They may offer you friends with benefits. Those are some examples of what you may be offered instead of the romance that you desire. And it's so important that you don't accept these changes. Now, I'm not suggesting you're rude. I'm not suggesting you get into an argument. I'm not suggesting you even ignore them. But what I am suggesting is that you respond in a positive, polite way, saying, in essence, I will always see you in a romantic sense, so I'm afraid I can't accept what you're offering here. Now, if they try to push the issue, whether this is platonic friendship or friends with benefits or whatever it may be, then it may come a time where you do have to withdraw completely from responding. I'm not suggesting that you have to keep responding time and time again if they are repetitive, if they are breadcrumbing you in a way where you feel that this isn't what you want. So I would certainly suggest that you respond the first time that you are asked. I would certainly suggest that you consider responding if you're asked a second time, because ultimately it does show that they are missing something from your dynamic. Now, is this something that you are happy that they're missing, or are you thinking, well, why aren't you missing the rest of me? You either just want platonic or you only want physical. What about everything in between? Now, again, this will be different for you and your ex exactly how this plays out. But when you're setting boundaries, please don't accept something that you are not truly happy with. Because if you do, it's going to be very tough to change and evolve this back to what you actually want. Can it happen? Yes. Is it likely to happen? Probably not. More than likely, your ex-dumper will seek a romantic option with somebody else whilst trying to live that life with you, whether it is platonic friendship or friends with benefits. They'll be trying to keep you in the position that they've now put you in, whilst looking for somebody else to actually be the romance. If you don't want this new situation, then you shouldn't accept it. Now, that's not the only boundary that you need to be putting in place post-breakup. As a dumpee, I strongly suggest that you do not check your ex's social media. This isn't going to help you. At best, it's going to confuse you, and at worst, it's going to break your heart time and time again when you read and view what your ex-dumper is posting. It's not necessarily even going to be true or authentic, but it still does damage. It still showcases them, no doubt, as a powerful person. We need to remove that power. We need to make sure that you don't feel that you're looking up when you consider your ex-dumper. They are not better than you. Do not let them pull those strings, and hence I do not suggest you check your ex's socials. And then it comes to the bigger point, the broader point that I would suggest to all dumpees, and although there are caveats to this rule, unless I speak with you one-on-one via my audio coaching service, I don't know your specifics, I don't know exactly what you're going through, so in a generalized sense, it is important for me to say, as a dumpee, set the boundary of never contacting your ex again unless they contact you first. Now, like I said, there could be exceptions to the rule. There could be other reasons why you have to reach out to your dumper. Maybe you have children together. Maybe you work together. Maybe you've received something through the mail which belongs to them. And just being a good person might need you to actually reach out and say, hey, I've received some mail, I've received some post for you. It's yours. Should we try and exchange this type of thing? You know, you've got to use your common sense. But by and large, generally speaking, if you've been dumped, most of the time, you should never contact your ex again unless they contact you first. That is setting a proper boundary in place where they will start to realise that you are not pushing them on the pedestal and that you are going to start living your own life. If and when they really start to recognise that unless they get back in a romantic relationship with you, you are gone for good, then this is when it can get to the stage where they begin to think about you, wonder about you, ultimately miss you. And if they miss you, this is where they will probably reach out and reconnection can take place. So now let's get into point number 2 and the second point of today's podcast. Please like this video if you're watching on YouTube. And if you have the new hype feature, please hype this video as well. If you like my content, subscribe to the channel to keep updated. And point number 2 is change the narrative in your own mind. Now this is something which I'm going to suggest to you, of course, now, but I'm not going to pretend that it's easy. This isn't something which is just click of a finger and you're going to be able to do. It's going to take work, it's going to take effort. You may need external support, whether it's from friends, family members, myself via my audio coaching service, whoever it may be, you might need that extra support. Some of you will hopefully be able to do this by yourselves, but a lot of you, it is going to be challenging. Either way, it's absolutely necessary that you change the narrative in your own mind. This isn't loss, this is a redirection of your life. And to get to that point where you can change this mindset, you will have to stay motivated, you will have to stay positive, and this is going to be something where you will have bumps in the road. You will be having a good week, and then all of a sudden you wake up and you feel really, really low. You'll feel down, you'll feel sad, you will feel confused. It's very natural to have these dips. It's very natural to have these bumps in the road. It's very natural to be feeling negative on certain days, but you need to remind yourself this is just temporary. You will get through this. You will move forward into a better day. The sun will always rise after darkness. Remind yourself of that. And if you ever feel that you're moving into a depression, please contact a local doctor. It's really, really important that you get the support that you need. But like I said, some of you will be able to alter your mindset by yourselves. Some of you might need an accountability partner. That's perhaps where I can come in. I'm an accountability partner for many of my audio coaching clients. You will get there. You will get through this. How you do this? Well, this is an individual journey that all of us are on in a different way. Ultimately, though, the more motivated you can feel, the more positive you can remain, this will help you get through easier. Remember, this isn't a loss, it's a redirection in your life. You've taken a different path. It's a different fork in the road that you perhaps expected because it was probably put on you when you didn't want it to be. But we can change in our mind how we consider this. Okay, we didn't want it to happen. Okay, it may have been a shock when you were dumped. But now let's consider the position you were in and then believe that we can find a better path forward. Life doesn't always make things easy for us. Sometimes we have to deal with things on the fly when we don't really expect it, when we don't imagine it, when we could never have guessed it was coming. But what are the options? Stand still? Sit down? Put our hands over our eyes? Is that really going to help us? Is that going to get us through? Or alternatively, are we going to keep moving forward? That is the only way to get through a dark, bleak tunnel. You won't get through if you're hiding away and sitting on the floor. You've got to stand up and take one step at a time, forward, 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 and eventually you will come through out into the light of happiness. And this might be getting your ex back, but it might also be finding someone even better. Either way, that's all that really matters. It's win-win. You either get your ex back or you find someone even better. Does it really matter which option it is? As long as you feel happy and fulfilled and satisfied, you will get there. But you can only achieve that, and you can only do this at the quickest possible pace if you stay motivated and take your life forward in a better way than it was yesterday. Now, if you would like advice and support about how to try and increase the chance of one day getting your ex back, then you may want to consider my audio coaching service, where me and you can speak one-on-one about your unique specific situation. Go to my website www.dateme.tips for more information about how I can become your coach and your teammate via my audio coaching service. Talking about your feelings can also improve your mental health. It helps prevent the buildup of negative emotions, which can lead to stress, anxiety, depression, and even physical health issues. Speak your heart to free your mind. So now let's get into point number 3 and the final point of today's podcast. If you feel that this podcast has helped you, then please consider buying me a coffee. The link to do so is in the description. And point number 3 is plan something new. Now this is something I want you to do as soon as the podcast ends. So listen through to the end and then take action. Remember in point number 2, when I was saying that you need to stay motivated. Well, this is a great example of why I'm suggesting you have that frame of mind. You've got to stay motivated because you've got to take your life forward. And one of the ways you can do that is planning something now. Now, it doesn't have to be expensive. And in fact, I would suggest that it's not. I don't want you making rash decisions. And with me suggesting you plan something now, I appreciate that is a fairly sudden decision. So if you're going to make a decision like that, don't spend a lot of money. I'm not giving you too much time to think about this. So we need to make sure we are sensible and not rash in that degree. So you don't have to spend a lot of money. But what I would like you to do is plan something, because you need something on the calendar to look forward to. And that is what point number 3 is all about. If you consider what we spoke about in today's podcast, it's all leading towards the fact that we need to remove the power from your ex. Your ex has all of the power right now. You think they're great. You think they're amazing. You think they're living their best life. And you are sitting at home alone, feeling really, really upset. Well, let's change that. Let's switch the narrative and let's get some things on the calendar that you are going to look forward to, that you are going to attend, that you are going to do, that you are going to see. And if and when you go to these places, you're going to speak about them to your friends and family, who may potentially pass that information on to your ex. You don't have to ask them to, they just will if you have a mutual friend. You're going to post about these things you're going to be doing and seeing and going to. You're going to do this on social media. You're going to post stories, photos, videos. Will your ex see this? Maybe, maybe not. But maybe somebody else will see it who tells them. If we want to remove the power from your ex, we need to give yourself the power. We need to let you live the life that you are fearful that they are living. You need to be the one that's living the amazing life. And even if you don't feel that you are, you can fake it till you make it by actually doing things until you realise they're actually enjoyable. It doesn't mean making things up. It doesn't mean not really going. It means absolutely you think of something, you plan it, you go. But you might not be the happiest necessarily. You might not really be that excited. But if you do it, you stand a chance of enjoying it. And if you post about it, if you speak about it, not only will you start to enjoy it yourself, but other people will see you're living your life. And that is such a powerful, attractive thing. Let's take the power from your ex. Let's give it to yourself. Let's put a smile back on your face. And let's get something down on that calendar that you are going to do. So let me know in the comments what it is that you are going to put in your calendar. Let me know in the comments what you are going to be planning, because I want you to plan it now. Now, if you live in the USA and want to support my channel, then please consider shopping at Calvin Klein using the affiliate link in the description. Calvin Klein is a fantastic brand to help both men and women look great and feel confident. As a Calvin Klein affiliate, I may earn a commission if you make a purchase at no extra cost to you. Thank you for your support.